Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, 21st Century Careers in a COVID-19 Environment. This webinar is brought to you by Care for 24 and Microsoft. A little bit more about Care for 24. Care for 24 is a nonprofit organization dedicated to youth and children in Tunisia, empowering them. The goal for our organization and all of the volunteers and everybody supporting the organization is to help all youth in Tunisia overcome their circumstances. As a matter of fact, I wanted to share this with you. This quote that actually is, I feel very personal about, and then I think this will be relevant to you as well, which is don't let circumstances define you, even when you acknowledge that they do impact your journey. And I think this is kind of like our challenge as we face the economic conditions in Tunisia as youth, which is we want to be able to overcome these circumstances and not let them define us. And one way to do that is through multiple ways, including education and digital tools. So welcome to this event, which is about education and digital tools, which is in collaboration with Microsoft. This webinar is important because we recognize that there is a mismatch between education and the job market in Tunisia. And then it's very important that we believe that it's very important that youth in Tunisia should be connected to an international marketplace. And one way to do that is through digital learning and through getting certified to be part of the international job market. And then we believe in the power of digital learning as a tool of empowerment. And so please, stay connected, go, to attend this webinar. Thank you for being here today. And then we hope that this would be beneficial to you. The agenda for today, so Dr. Wafa Mizghani will speak a little bit in the beginning about the current mismatch between skills and the marketplace in Tunisia. I would like actually to just mention for our Tunisian attendees here that because we have a pool of attendees that includes international people interested in what we do, this overview, okay, my apologies. Someone is making noise, so could you please hold on? Okay, thank you. So because of the combination of international attendees and Tunisian attendees today, we will describe a little bit the mismatch between skills and the marketplace in Tunisia by Dr. Wafa Mizghani. Then Dr. Sabrine Knani will actually introduce the importance of digital skills in higher education. And then we will have Ms. Samar Halawa from Microsoft. Samar will actually introduce the Global Skills Initiative by Microsoft and the various learning pathways, as well as she will demo the learning paths system available through Microsoft. And then finally, I will share with you how you can access the scholarship by Care for 24 as you go through the learning pathway so that you could get your official internationally recognized certification. A little bit about our presenters today. Dr. Wafa Mizghani holds a PhD in English Studies from Aix-Marseille University and a Master's in Theoretical and Applied Linguistics from University of Sfax. She specializes in many things, including storytelling to youth and young adults. And she's also a published author. Dr. Sabrine Knani, also like Dr. Wafa Mizghani, a board member of Care for 24. She has a PhD in neuroscience from Aix-Marseille University and a secondary PhD in biological science and biotech from ISBM, Tunisia, the business school in Tunisia. She's currently the head of the engineering school of IHE Group of Universities. And she's one of the many things she has done is that she's been behind the launch of the Zeta Hub, which is the first startup incubator in this Grand Sahel region of Tunisia. Finally, Ms. Samar Halawa, she received her bachelor's degree in specialized translation from Sorbonne, Paris 3, and the French University in Egypt. After completing her bachelor's degree, Samar did multiple internships in the field of translation and communications, including with Egypt Independent, the Regional Center for Renewable Energy, and multiple other organizations, including Microsoft. She started her career in the field of social economic development, and worked with multiple organizations, including the UN. And now she's actually leading the philanthropy effort of Microsoft in Arab countries. Thank you to the three of you ladies for being here and for sharing your knowledge and making this webinar happen. And thank you to everybody attending the webinar today. So our first speaker is Dr. Wafa Mizghani. Dr. Mizghani, please go ahead and get started. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here today to talk about the mismatch between skills and the marketplace in Tunisia and represent Care for 24 in this webinar. As you know, I'm gonna talk about in 2020, the employment rate in Tunisia increased to 17.4% in December 2020 from the previously reported number of 16.20% in September 2020. These are the statistics given by the National Statistics Institute. In a study carried out by Statista on unemployment from 1999 till 2020, the unemployment rate in Tunisia has witnessed some ups and downs. It reached the highest in 2010 with the Arab Spring, of course, and dropped again in 2013. However, it has continued to increase steadily since 2014 and reached its highest in 2020. So as you can see, we have really a real problem of unemployment in Tunisia. And in our case, we would like to gauge or to see what are the reasons. Why do we have this rate? It's one of the highest rates of unemployment in the region. So we would like to find why. So is the high level of unemployment due to a simple lack of a job, chronism, and anti-competitive practices, occupational imbalances of worker training and employment opportunities, or an overemphasis on high-level and specialized education? So these are the questions that we'd like to find answers. And we think that some of the reasons for the high rate of unemployment and the unemployment rate is there is a huge shift in the composition of the labor force, as the supply of educated workers is greater than the rest of labor force. So our universities offer us a big number of labor force, educated workers, but we don't have enough jobs for them. On the other side, you have some occupational positions, some occupations that we don't have the needed workforce. So the transition of labor market demand has not been concomitant with the change in the offered skilled labor. In other words, there is a huge gap between the skills needed in the labor market and those produced by the country's education and the training system. One of the problems is that we think that it is the problem of education in Tunisia. We have the admission to the public higher education institution is centrally controlled, and there are quotas for a number of students who can be placed within each field of the study. So, for example, so there is many Tunisian families, they think that the best position for their kids or for their children is to go to engineering school, to medicine, and there are quotas for these schools. At the same time, we have also some, for example, in management, we have big number of students who graduated students. For example, I'll give you an example. In SPACs, for example, we have at least five institutions with graduates in business, studies, but the number of jobs available for them is very limited. So there is a kind of there is a mismatch. We have to find the link. The Ministry of Higher Education and the World Bank define mismatch as the percentage of graduates with specific degree or specialty whose job is not related to the skills. And from my experience as a teacher, I know most of the graduates I know, they have a degree, but most of them, they don't use that degree in their jobs, in their current jobs. So there is a real problem. And this leads to, of course, with COVID-19, things become even worse. In 2020, employment has reached its highest rate since 2014. According to LinkedIn job posts, demands on software development jobs dominate the list of most in-demand jobs. So we have programming jobs, they are high in demand, application developer, project manager. So there is like a kind of changing nature of work due to COVID-19 containment. And these measures led to an increased demand in digital skills. And in a quest for relief and prosperity, eyes are turning towards finding new alternatives that could solve the country's current problems. We need new ways of learning to enable young entrepreneurs to start up a new business and bring their ideas to life, and new opportunities for training to overcome the lacuna in the Tunisian educational system. Training more in line with country's employment sector and new demands imposed by the pandemic crisis. Hence, the example of Microsoft Learning Path. And that's why we are here today with our dear students to discuss this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Wafaa.
With my part.
Thank you so much, Wafaa. Thank you for mentioning that. Indeed, one of the things we would need to address in our country is not only connecting the education system with the job market, but also thinking of how can education be a driver for creating new industries in our country and creating new jobs and bringing investment. So thank you for sharing your experience. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Now the floor is for Dr. Sabrir Knani, who's gonna share with us her perspective and the importance of digital skills in higher education in Tunisia. Go ahead, Sabrir.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Ulfa, and thank you for the introduction. Hello, ladies, Samar and Wafaa. I'm going to talk today about higher education and the importance of digital skills in higher education in Tunisia. But let me first start with a few words that Malcolm X used to say about education. So he said that education is the passport for the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And I think that the most important word here is prepare. So which is the best way to prepare the future for Tunisian youth, especially when we are talking about a COVID-19 context. So COVID-19 has caused both health and economic crisis. Globally, we are talking about 25 million people who lost their jobs because of COVID-19. In Tunisia, COVID-19 has affected people like looking for work. So the first observation is that job seekers are younger. And second, the duration of the job search is longer than the period before COVID-19. The unemployment rate would increase by, I think, 1.4 points to 19.4%, according to the Institute of National Statistics in Tunisia. The youth unemployment rate is about 36%, which is huge compared to the MENA region, while the number of unemployed higher education graduates increased from 28 to 31. So millions of jobs are disappearing, not only because of COVID-19, but it's the global context. And millions of jobs are disappearing. Other are not even known yet. And this is maybe a real opportunity for Tunisian youth to get new skills. So jobs are changing, but there is more. There is more because the trends of jobs metamorphoses are accelerating because of COVID-19. Jobs are no longer doing things right or doing right things, but we are talking about doing things differently and maybe doing things digitally. And this is a good idea. This is an opportunity for Tunisian youth to get these new skills and to have this career that they dreamed to have. So this is the time for changing our ways of working, our way of collaborating, our ways of interacting with people in workplace. And as a natural response to COVID-19, people will maybe need, like I said, and like Wafa said, to learn new skills by 2030. So we are talking about digital skills, soft skills, life skills, and maybe success skills, because there is no dissociation between the different skills. They are all important, and they are all very, very important for people, for youth to have this career. So even in the midst of pandemic context, it's cheaper and more effective for many companies to close the skills gap between the skills of graduates and the real need of market employment. So based on potential instead of experience, this is the new way of recruiting. And then maybe companies and universities should invest in last mile training. And this is very important, especially when we are talking with Microsoft, because they are offering new opportunities and new way of learning to Tunisian students and to global students. So what is meant by last mile training? It consists of equipping new hires with specific technical skills and business knowledge that today are only gained through work experience. A growing number of technology companies are creating last mile training opportunities to eliminate a key barrier to their own growth. So we are talking about 150 million new tech jobs by 2030 globally. And the question here is, are people skilled enough? Are youth students skilled enough to lead a meaningful career, especially in jobs related to machine learning, cybersecurity, cloud computers, and all technologies related to Industry 4.0. So in Tunisia, for example, we still consider education as the best equalizer. And first, equally important is designing digital content and services nationally, from e-health to e-learning or e-education to e-government services. This is a very important first step for Tunisian youth, Tunisian government, Tunisian policies to enhance youth empowerment. Second, that skill building and retraining of the workforce, in particular teachers, private sector employees, IT workers, is imperative in order to adapt the new normality related to COVID-19 context. Strong curricula and targeted learning paths need to be led in order to develop a kind of skill path or skill pack specific to competitive sectors like agriculture, tourism, health, and so on for Tunisian economy. So we can do that, but we need schools, we need universities, we need both private and public sector, we need people to do that, and we need process to do that. The third thing is that it's essential for us as Tunisian to refocus a kind of digital economy strategies based on local reality. We don't have to import foreign strategies, but we should build a national authentic strategy in order to harness the full power of technology in the era of the fourth industrial revolution. Tunisia, therefore, needs also to figure out the contextual use of data science, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and advanced digital skills and digital analytics related to our concrete and real needs and potential. So I think this is my message for Tunisian youth. This is my message for Tunisian teachers, for Tunisian parents, for Tunisian workforce in order to get new skills and to build something different, something that can give them a real career and use digitalization as a real weapon for the future, like Malcolm X said. So that's all for me. Thank you again, Olfa. Thank you, Wafa. And maybe I'll let Samar give us an overview of what Microsoft can offer to Tunisian youth. Thank you.
So much, Sabrine. Really great presentation. Education is an equalizer and technology is an equalizer too. And so in Tunisia, for youth to have access to a digital economy, that will help equalize access to opportunities. And I can think of so many ways, including everybody in this room here today made it based on, you know, using education and using technology. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So I want to talk to you more about Microsoft mission and our philanthropic efforts before getting into the Global Skills Initiative, and definitely will be building on what Dr. Wafa and Dr. Sabrine have said. So our mission at Microsoft is to empower every individual and organization on the planet to achieve more. And in order to do that, we need to equip everyone with the skills, with the knowledge, and with the opportunities to succeed in the digital economy. So here I want to talk more about the digital economy. What's the digital economy? Like a couple of years ago, and basically before COVID, we have been talking a lot and advocating a lot about the digitization, about digital economy, that it's going to happen and take place within 5 years. Like maximum in our region, it's going to be by 2025. And we have been advocating a lot with the governments, with nonprofits, with international organizations about how important digital skills are, how AI and digitization are transforming the labor market. Yet it was, again, very slowly happening. But COVID came and everything changed like that. Within few months, the change that we were seeing that it's going to happen within 5 years, it happened within few months. Everything became digital. We started to work from home. We started to study from home. Everything closed. All the shopping became from home. Everything basically became digital. And that's why the whole economy has changed. And this is why exactly digital skills became very important. I don't want to repeat the same thing that Dr. Wafa and Dr. Sabrine said, but basically, of course, COVID had impacted lots of economic opportunities, and it caused a global economic crisis with the closure of so many jobs, with so many people getting laid off and others who just entering the labor market, it became more and more challenging for them to get a job. As we said, the whole economy changed and require different skill sets, because as we know, we already have skills gap between our education and between the labor market and its needs, especially in labor markets such as ours that are emerging markets. But now with the digital skills becoming more and more important, this gap is increasing dramatically. And this is where we should be joining forces in order to work on empowering the youth, working on upskilling the youth, working on upskilling and reskilling. So for those who actually lost their jobs, or for those who can lose their jobs because they don't have digital skills, so they need to work on reskilling themselves. And for those who didn't yet enter the labor market, then they need to upskill themselves. And this is where we saw our expertise can be very helpful. So we joined forces, like we put all of our muscles together, Microsoft, LinkedIn, and GitHub, which is all part of Microsoft, in order to empower 25 million job seekers to get the skills needed for the top 10 jobs globally. As you know, LinkedIn is the biggest professional platform in the world. It's also one of the biggest recruitment and employability portals globally. This means that we have lots of data. And with the power of Microsoft and with the power of technology that we have and AI, so we started to analyze this huge data in order to see what are the top 10 jobs, what are the skill set needed, who are recruiting in those jobs, what's the amount of jobs in there. And not only that, but the jobs that are increasing year over year, not the jobs that are decreasing. Decreasing means that this job is gonna die, but increasing means that there's a huge potential in there. Accordingly, we started to build learning pathways, and we are making it completely available for free for the youth and for anybody in the world to consume. So we have built learning pathways for the top 10 jobs. 3 of them are technical. We are also offering the Microsoft Learn content for those jobs. And I'm going to go through each and every job, what's in there, what are the curricula, what's the length, and everything with the links of each pathway. But also we are offering our Microsoft certification at $15 price instead of $100 and $150. And I'm very happy that today Care for 24 will be offering scholarship for 20 students on these certifications that we will be talking about at the end, with Ulfa giving you more and more details about them. At the end, we are also offering some tools and some other content that are very crucial and critical for everyone now, that are not necessarily digital skills, but definitely digitally enabled. So now let's go through the pathways and the jobs. So here we have the 10 jobs. I will walk you through each and every one of them. So for example, we have 7 of them that are non-technical, but they require technical expertise, like they are tech-based, that are tech-enabled but not tech-based, and other 3 that are technical jobs, like data analyst, network administration, and the #1 jobs globally is the software development. The courses, it's very important to mention that all of our courses are available in English and also are available in French. Unfortunately, not yet in Arabic. But thank God for Tunisia, you're gonna be very happy with the French content available in there, as well as the English one. So the first job is the sales representative. We have 7 hours content with 8 modules. And here you can actually click on the link and it will take you automatically or directly to the website, in which you're gonna find all of the learning path and you can start it immediately. The project manager with 11, almost 12 hours and 10 modules. customer service with 5 hours and a half and 8 modules, digital marketing, and this is one of the top courses that so many people are currently taking, with almost 21 hours and 11 modules, IT support and help desk with 24 hours and 19 modules, graphic designer with 26 hours and 11 modules. And here comes the technical jobs. The technical jobs, as I told you, they are the learning pathway through LinkedIn Learning, but we're also we're making available the content that's available on Microsoft Learn, which again is completely for free, that's relevant to this track of software developer. So here, for example, we have another 4 tracks and extra resources that you can go and get benefit from it and consume it through Microsoft Learn. Here you can find the 6 certifications that are available for this track, and this is the Microsoft certification, which you can benefit from applying for the sponsorship or the scholarship that Care for 24 are making it available, or you can directly benefit from the offer directly. You're gonna see that 3 of them are fundamental, which is like if you are just starting in this career and you want to get the fundamental level, or if you are taking the associate level, which is like the intermediate level basically. Then the data analyst, again, those are the certificates that are relevant to the data analyst, and the IT administration with those extra resources from Microsoft Learn, and those technical certification. We're talking about 5 certifications that are very relevant to IT administration. How to benefit from the Microsoft Learn. I will walk you through the website just once I'm done with the presentation. But here again, it's very easy for you to navigate. So whenever you open the learning pathway page on LinkedIn Learning and you scroll down, you're gonna find the Microsoft offering, and then if you click on any of the link, it's gonna take you to MS Learn. How to book it? This one I prefer to show it to you directly through the demo, but make sure that you are selecting the last option when it comes to booking your exam. This is actually to benefit from the discount. Now with the extra content. So this is the digital literacy content, which is a basic digital literacy content. But I want to tell you that it's very important to know the difference between having access to devices and access to connectivity and being digitally having digital equity, which means that I can have a smartphone and I have a connection, but I'm using it only to connect on social media. This is not digital equity. This is not digital literacy. Digital literacy is actually to have a device. You can use it for work. You can use it for education. You can open the internet. You can secure yourself. You can consume content on it. This is digital literacy, which is different, definitely, from just having digital access. And this course, many people actually they think that it's basic, but it's not that basic. You're gonna find yourself learning a lot about digital literacy that you didn't know about before. Another course is the virtual collaboration tools, and this is important for example, if you're a student and you're working remotely with your team or with your other colleagues, this will teach you how to use the Office 365, for example, like the cloud version of the Microsoft Office, in order to work easily with your colleagues and with your team. It applies also if you are working with a team, then how to use the different Office 365 offerings and tools and how to use them basically. Another course that's very, very, very crucial, the critical soft skills. And this is one of the main courses, and this is why actually so many people are focusing, so many organizations are offering soft skills courses, because it's one of the main reasons why there is a gap between, there's a skill gap between education and between the labor market. It's basically because we do not, like our education doesn't provide us with the soft skills that's required in the labor market, and that's why this is one of the very, very important courses for you to have. Another course is the diversity and inclusion, and diversity and inclusion becomes very important when you work cross teams with different groups coming from different backgrounds and different cultures. So you need to have the mindset of diversity and inclusion. Sometimes we do not do it intentionally. We have it in our mind, but we do not apply some not so friendly D&I attitude. But again, we need to train ourselves on how to discover the biases, the biases that we do not know about in ourselves. And this is one of the main things that currently many of the companies like Microsoft, for example, make sure that everyone has a D&I priority, and we get so many trainings about D&I. It's very, very important topic as well. The last but not least is how to find a job. And this course is very important because it will teach you how to build your CV, how to look for a job, how to build your network, how to apply for a job, how to benefit from your network. So this will help you also to build your LinkedIn profile, how to use it, and how to use different features on LinkedIn. Some key dates here, for example, we launched the initiative in June 2020. The certifications open on September 2020. The 30th of December 2021 is going to be the last date in which you can actually book your exam, and you have to complete all of your exams by the 31st of December 2021. Also, you need to all of the offerings going to be stopped by this date as well. Some of them will continue, and some others going to be retired. And this is the link. Actually, it's opportunity.linkedin.com. This is where you can access the whole offering. Let me try to open it. And please, Olfa, tell me if you can see my browser.
Okay, we're waiting for you to open the opportunity.linkedin.com.
Can you see it now?
Hold on. It's still loading.
Okay.
Okay.
What about now?
We can see it now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so again, it's opportunity.linkedin.com. So here we show you the journey that we have created. The first step of the journey is the education part, is actually to learn the skills. So let's start by this one. I'm gonna click on Start Learning. Here it will give me an overview about, sorry, I'm just trying, yeah. The 10 learning pathways, the 10 jobs, and gives me some very interesting data. For example, what are the skills that the employers ask for or look for candidates who are software developers? How many jobs that are available or got available on LinkedIn in 2020? So software development comes on top with 22.7 million jobs that got posted on LinkedIn in 2020. This means how big software developers are and how much the market now needs software developers. Same with all the other jobs or learning pathways as well. If you scroll down here, you're gonna find the critical soft skills and the virtual collaboration tools course. You can just click on them and it will open the course for you. And here is, we are sharing with you some best practices on how to look for a job. But let me open to you one of the courses. So for example, let's go to software developer. You're gonna find here the LinkedIn courses, Microsoft course, but let's scroll down a little bit. You're gonna find here what are the modules available on LinkedIn Learning. Here, how to access the actually Microsoft Learn offers. And here comes the part related to the certification. I will open each one of them to show you how it goes. So if I clicked on Start Learning Path, this is how it is. It gives me an overview. If I scroll down here, I'll find also who are the instructors. And if I click on Learn More, it will show me the bio for each and every instructor. But let me try to actually start the course. So here you can find the video. The modules, at the end of each module, you're going to find a chapter quiz. Once you finalize all the modules, all the hours, the learning hours of the learning pathway, you're going to get a free certification of completion that you can download. It's like a badge that you can share on your LinkedIn profile. You can share it on other social media platforms as well. This is just the certification of completion. This is not the Microsoft accredited and industry recognized certification. And this is why I want to show you the difference between both. Here you're going to find an overview about the course, what are the learning objectives, what are the skills that are covered, other related courses as well. You can find the Q&A. This is where you can put your questions, and one of the instructors will answer your questions. And this is the transcript for those who are not feel very comfortable with the language or even with the accent, or even for accessibility reasons. You can definitely check the transcript. In the overview too, you're gonna find the exercise file that you're gonna need to download and use. So this is the experience on LinkedIn Learning. Again, I'm going back to the main page. I will go here to Microsoft Learn. So for example, I will click on this one. It will redirect me to MS Learn, in which you're gonna find different courses under this one, which is Azure Developer. You're gonna find the certifications, and you can start just with any of the modules. It's gonna be completely for free again. For the certification, you can scroll down here and click on any of the certifications. It will redirect you to Microsoft Learn, the page of the certification, giving you an overview about it. And then here to book the exam. So you're gonna need to choose the country, so Tunisia. And then you can schedule it for $15. Just pick the last option, which is job seekers impacted by COVID-19. And then you can schedule it for $15, or definitely you can connect with the team of Care for 24 to benefit from the scholarship. And here you're gonna find extra resources that will help you actually to practice your skills and to know more about the exam and how it's gonna look like and so on. Again, this is completely for free. So all of the learning materials are completely for free. So now I want to go to the second step of the journey. So let me go back to the home page and then take you to the second step, which is search and apply for a job. This is how to find a job, discover, get to know, and this is related to LinkedIn Insights. So it will help you to know about the skill set that's needed for each sector, for each industry. It will give you more of indications of what's the learning path look like, what are the skills that you need to work on. So it will help you also build your learning plan and your career path itself. There's another feature that LinkedIn has developed as part of this initiative, which is open to work. Before last June, we didn't have the open to work feature on LinkedIn, which basically shows your network and shows the employer that you are actively looking for a job. This is how you engage with your community. some tips and tricks, and how to find a job on LinkedIn. And at the end, you can explore other free courses that are available on LinkedIn Learning and consume unemployment resources as well. Last step is how to prepare yourself for the interview. We have two courses, the video interview tips, because now many employers do not conduct face-to-face or in-person interviews. It became more digital, so how to do a video interview and how to monitor your body language and take care of your digital body language, because it shows a lot. We also have created an artificial intelligence tool, so an AI tool that's very cool. You can actually record your video about going to an interview and conducting your interview. Then you can upload this video on the tool, and the tool will use the artificial intelligence in order to analyze your body language as well as your replies and answers, and suggest for you some recommendations in order for you to enhance your interview skills, which is great again. This is more and more tips about how to conduct interviews, more and more practices about how to find a job. So this is in a nutshell Microsoft Global Skills Initiative, and I'm here to answer any of your questions. My suggestion is that you need to create a LinkedIn profile, start to build your network, try to benefit from the courses that are available, and as I said, build the network, reach out to recruiters, reach out for recruiters not to just send them your CV and show them your profile. No, it's actually tell them that you had applied for this job, and if there are any tips or if there's anything that you can do in order for them to prioritize you in the screening, for example. So yeah, and I'm available on LinkedIn if you want to connect or you want to ask any questions. And this is my part.
Thank you so much, Samar. This is great. Thank you for sharing this. Well, I would like to actually mention that. So, Tunisian youth, the ones I know anyway, and I've met so many of them. They're so good and so dedicated to investing in themselves. Seriously. So, and I love that about them, because when I was younger, we didn't have like all of this culture of digital, right? When I was younger, it was like all of it going to the library and doing books, basically. But as I kept going, I actually ended up using LinkedIn and technology to my benefit, and that's what helped accelerate my career. And even when I started the company, I mean, until now, we generate a lot of our business through LinkedIn, through leads there, doing the B2B, sales. So thank you so much for your presentation, Samar. This was great. For everybody attending, please know that on the right side of the screen, you can download a copy of the PDF, and I posted in the chat the links to these. So I'm going to share my screen and just show you how do you benefit from the scholarship. So basically, for everybody who's attended this, so please know that once you go through the learning paths, you choose yours. You can do multiple, by the way. I encourage you, especially now that you're still a student, you not only have the time, but also you have the ability to learn things that are way more diverse. So please go ahead and do as many of those as you want. And then once you completed, please email info@carefor24.org. Hold on, there is actually a little mistake here. So Carefor24, that's the right email address. And then also please copy my personal email address. That way I make sure also I follow up on this. And then what will happen is that once you completed and you get to your certification, we will connect with you via conference call like we're doing today, and then we will pay for your certification. So Samar mentioned that the certification is recognized internationally, and its standard price is $150 or something per certification. And now they're doing this major discount due to the COVID-19 situation. So they're reducing that to $15 per certification, and then Carefor24 would pay that for you, so you don't have to pay anything. So please feel free to just share that as soon as you complete. You can also connect with myself or anybody from Care for 24's attendees today, Sabrine, Wafa, and then connect with them as well as you go through this process. As I mentioned, as Samar mentioned, I would like to encourage you all to have your LinkedIn profile, not only because you're going to go through this training and these learning paths, but because it's so important. It's a critical component of your success to learn how to have a good, up-to-date LinkedIn profile, to connect with the right people, to follow the right news, the right companies. It's really one of your entry points to the global economy. So please have a LinkedIn profile for that. Thank you so much, ladies, for today's participation, and thank you for all attendees. The webinar will be posted on our YouTube channel for Care for 24, as well as you will receive an email notifying you of that. Thank you all, and you have all a wonderful day.